Hey guys, I want to tell you a little bit about my Lake Chickamauga practice for the FLW Pro Circuit Super Tournament. It was filled with 204 boats, so there was lots of people out there looking around, practicing, scanning the ledges. And I did the same thing with my Lowrance HGS 12 Lives. I spent probably each day close to 7 or 8 hours behind the screen, just looking, idling, finding some schools. And the schools that I did find, they were a little bit tougher to get to bite. Wasn't able to catch the right ones out of it. So I kind of kept playing around and I found a little bit of a flipping bite going on. I was fishing this hydrilla. It was in about 6 to 8 foot. There's strips of it going along the main lake ledges. And what I was doing was taking a EcoPro tungsten weight. It's a black one here. You can see all the teeth marks on it from practicing the tournament. It's a 3/4 ounce, and I was pegging it. And I was pegging it here on this 5/0 Hayabusa to FPP straight, and this is the HD version. Super heavy duty. You're not bending this hook out. It's made to hook them and turn them and rip them out of there. And what I would do is peg that weight here, just like that, and take my Z-Man palmetto bug. I was throwing green pumpkin most of the time. Every once in a while when the sun would come out, I would switch up to watermelon red. Helped get a couple more bites, it seemed like. But this bait, just text rigging it, put it on that hook there, working it up. It's got that little fiber monofilament bait keeper. So what that does is it slides up there, holds it on there, just like so. And that flexes a little bit. So it gives when the bait is on there and it won't just rip through it like a lot of those metal keepers do. Rig that nice and straight. And what I would do is just go down the hydrilla lines when the sun was out. I could see it. It wasn't top to the surface, but it was close to it. And I could pitch on the edges of it. And what I was doing was I had 65-pound Ardent Strong braid and just repeated. I would throw it into a hole, let it sink at the bottom, pop it back up. Throw it in a hole, let it sink down, pop it up. And you can see here was my hook from practice. I actually cut the point of it off after I got a couple bites. The last morning, I really was kind of leaning towards committing to that hydrilla game. So I hooked the first one in the morning, which you'll see, 8-pounder, kind of thumbed it, let it swim around, tried to get it to not jump because I had 2 or 3 boats going down the main river there. I didn't want them to see this fish. Not realizing how big it was myself, try to boat flip it, doesn't quite make it, try to boat flip it again, get it in there, and realize how big this fish was. So at that point, I cut the tip of my hook off and just shook everything else off. Found 2 or 3 key little sweet spots. But for flipping, I was using my favorite rod. This is the Big Sexy, the 711. It's an extra heavy, made for punching and kind of flipping that real thick cover. I was throwing that on my Ardent Grand reel. This is a 7/3-1, so when I make that pitch, let it hit the bottom, shake it a couple times, reel it back up. That fast gear ratio let me cover just lots of water and get those high percentage bites. So that's what I found out in practice. If you want to see some idling of those ledges and how to do that, I'll include a couple links in the description. And thanks for taking a look. And I will have the day 1 and day 2 of the tournament coming out next. Thanks. Z-Man, palmetto bug, Hayabusa hook. Look at the size of that giant. 8.15.
Absolute beast.